Well, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sorry about my hair is a mess and the background's also a mess. I'm too lazy to do my hair and I don't know how to do hair. So today I'm gonna share some stories from when I was working in retail. I'm not gonna say the name of the company that I was working for just cause I might want to try and work there again. There's nothing wrong with the company at all. I loved working for the company. All the employees and all of my managers were awesome. I have no complaints about the company at all. It's just the people. So I'm just gonna share a few stories about the customers and stuff that happened to me while I was working at this company. I started to work there when I was 16. Yeah, I was 16 and I quit when I was 18, and I quit because I was moving to Virginia. So the first story is really gross. So I was working in our men's department, which our men's department also included the kids and the toys and stuff. I was working and one of our coworkers returned this little girl's pin board where you can pin pictures on it and make it look cute. So one of our coworkers returned that because her daughter didn't want it or something. It was my job to put it back onto the floor for our customers to see it and want to buy it. And I picked it up, and as I was walking, I started smelling this nasty smell. It smelled like fish, fishy poop. That's what it smelled like. So I brought it back to where this board thing goes, and I put it down. And I kept smelling it, and it was so strong, and I was like, oh my god, what is that smell? And it just smelled horrible. It was the worst smell that I've ever smelled ever. That's a little exaggerating, but it was horrible. And I saw this customer that was down the aisle, and I was like, oh my god, is it that customer? I was like, I think it is. So I just walked away, and I was like, whatever, something could be wrong with them, who knows, I'm not gonna judge him for it. But I kept smelling it, and I was like, eventually I thought, oh my god, is it me? Is it me that smells? So I went into the bathroom, and how it smelled fishy, I just wanted to check everything on my body. So I went to the stall, looked under my clothes and everything, found nothing. So I went to the sink and I started to wash my hands, and I noticed there was this brown smear right here. I was like, what the heck is that? Just thinking about it makes me so disgusted. And then I also noticed that it was also on my shirt, right here too. That toy that I touched, there was something on it. So I cleaned up my arm and I tried to clean up my shirt as best as I can. But it's still it's stained and it smelled gross. Thankfully there's only an hour left of my shift, so it wasn't I had to have it on me for all day. I went to go look at the toy, and there was all this brown stuff on the back of it that I didn't notice, and it was that smell. That was what the smell was coming from. So I took it up front and I was like, there's something nasty on this, and it got at me and it stained my clothes and I'm mad. And they gave me these Lysol wipes to try and wipe it off, and then I did some air room freshener spray onto it. Didn't help. It was just so overpowering of fish and poop. And yeah, I have no idea what was even on it. None of us had any idea what was on it. It was just gross. The next story is about one of our customers. This will sound really mean, because we were kind of mean to her, but it's just, well, not we weren't mean to her face, but we were mean behind her back. We called her scrambled eggs. And the reason that we called her scrambled eggs was because she threw up in our store, not once, but twice. She threw up on the ground and didn't think in her head to tell one of us that hey, I accidentally threw up, I'm sorry. No, she didn't do that. Another customer actually saw her throw up. So she came up to us and was like, hey, this lady like threw up on the ground. So someone had to clean it. I didn't have to clean it, so. But yeah, just the fact that like she didn't tell us, and it looked like the throw up looked like scrambled eggs. So we're like, all right, we're gonna call her scrambled eggs. So I'd say maybe like 4 times a week she would come into our store, and she'd never buy anything. She'd just kind of walk around, and occasionally she would talk to us. And it's so mean what we did to her, it really is. She would just talk to us and say like really, really weird stuff. And we didn't know what to say, we didn't know what to do. So we're just like, okay. Listening to her talk and being nice to her face. But when she'd go and we'd just go and talk to each other and be like, you won't believe what scrambled eggs said to me. My brother actually worked with me at this store, and we would always talk about her out of work, just telling us each other's stories about what she's done and stuff. And this is like such a mean thing to say, but when she actually went into the fitting room to try on like a pair of slacks or something, and when she was like in there for so long, like 30 minutes to try on a pair of pants, and when she finally left, she didn't buy the pair of pants. She left them, and the person that was at the fitting room was like, I wonder why she was taking so long. So she just went in, didn't check to make sure like there wasn't any tickets on the ground or something, make sure she wasn't trying to steal. And she went into the room, and it smelled like so bad, like BO, fish, just horrible smell. Scrambled eggs was definitely a staple in our weeks. She was just a staple in our store. So this company was also like, it was like kind of like a second type of store, if that makes any sense. So like this company would get clothing and items that other companies didn't really want or like weren't really selling. So they'd give them to our company, and then we would like mark them down and stuff. So it was very affordable clothes. There was a lot of like name brand, like Tommy Hilfiger and like Calvin Klein and stuff like that, like all those name brands for a pretty decent price. Just a side note, I got a really nice polo for my husband. That was only like $5. Everything is like super discounted and super inexpensive. That also made it so a lot of people would try and like steal from us. There's been a countless number of people trying to steal, and honestly there's nothing that we could have done. We couldn't like confront them or anything. If we ever saw them trying to steal, then we would have to tell our manager or our coordinator, and then they just have to watch the person. We couldn't confront them or anything, which was really upsetting, but it's just the laws that we had to follow. But anyway, like we could try and prevent stuff by, if we see someone, we could go up to them and be like, hi, how are you? Is there anything that I can help you look for today? Customer service. Everything customer service. And the last story that I'm going to share to you today is another thievery story. So I was working at the register, and this man, he came up with a suitcase, and he said that he had 2 suitcases with him. One of them that he already bought, and another one that he wanted to kind of exchange the one he already bought for. So it's like, okay, no problem. He didn't have any receipt, and there was no ticket on the suitcase that he wanted to return. No, I think there was a ticket. Yeah, there was a ticket on the suitcase he wanted to return, but he didn't have a receipt. So, I was like, okay, well, to exchange this, I'm gonna need a driver's license. And he gave me his driver's license, and he had whited out his driver's license ID number and like wrote something else on it. And he was like, that's actually my ID number. The one before was wrong. And I was like, I don't think I can accept this because you can't do that legally. That's not something you could do. So I asked my coordinator, it's like, yeah, he did this, so I don't think I can do this. And he was like, the coordinator was like, yeah, no, you can't do that. Like, you can't do the return if he doesn't have a receipt. Let me just back up so it's a little more clear. If you don't have a receipt, we need a form of ID. It could be military, driver's license, just something like that. We can even take a passport. We need some sort of identification to return the item without a receipt. So I told him, hey, I'm sorry, do you have any other form of ID? Because we can't take your driver's license. And he was like, yeah, I have a military ID. So I was like, okay, great. Well, then can I see that? And he was like, no, you can't see it. And I was like, well, sir, I can't do the return if you don't have an ID that I can see. He was like, no, you can't see my military. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, sir, I can't do your return. And he was like, I need to speak to your manager. And I was like, okay, you can talk to her. So she came over and she told him pretty much everything that I said. Like, we can't do it without an ID that's valid. So he's like, you know what, whatever, and he left. So fast forward maybe like 2-3 weeks, I was working on the register again. And I was like, on the back counter, like putting tags onto some clothes that fell off. And I looked behind me and there was like some lines starting to form. So I was like, okay, I need to go back onto my register. And then I noticed like the second person in line was the guy that tried to like kind of scam us with his, like invalid ID, trying to like exchange his suitcase for another suitcase so you can like make a profit somehow. I don't know like what he was trying to do exactly, but that was pretty much what he was trying to do, was exchanging a suitcase for a cheaper suitcase so he could make a profit somehow. Hold on, I need some coffee. I actually got this mug at where I used to work. It says wifey, and I also got another one that says hubby. Yeah, it says hubby, and it's blue instead of pink. So anyway, I did a double take. I was like, is that really him? And there was a different coordinator that was working up front. So I just told her like, hey, heads up, this guy tried to scam us like the other week. And so she was like, all right, no problem. So I went onto my register and I helped the person that was in front of him, and he went to the coordinator, and I didn't really notice what was going on over there. I was focusing on my customer and making sure that everything was good with her and just making sure everything was fine. And then after we helped everyone that was in line and everything, the coordinator came up to me and she was like, you won't believe what he did. He slid a note across the table. And she was like, oh my God. Like in her head, she was thinking, oh my God, he's gonna rob us. So he slid a note across the table and she picked it up and read it. And he said, you and the girl at Register 4 needs to stop talking about customers and you guys need to shut up. And I was at Register 4. I don't know what register she was on. But yeah, he was like, you and this girl need to stop talking and you need to shut up. That's what he said. And we were like, oh my God. And the transaction that he did was fine. Like, she didn't see anything that he was trying to scam us with. But just the fact that he like slid a piece of paper across the counter, like all like weird ass, like he was gonna try and rob us. It was just like, yeah, after that, I've never seen him again. All right, so that's gonna conclude today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some entertainment from it. Like I said before, like I loved working for there. There really isn't that much that really bothered me about working there. It was just great. I wish I was working there still, to be honest. So yeah, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want. Don't feel like you have to. And I hope you all have a really good day or night wherever you are in the world. And talk to you soon.